Meet Ned. He's a 5-year-old, lives in a house with his sis Queenie, his mum Liz, his dad Joe and their pet dog Flip. Ned loves playing with toy cars, is a fan of cheese and sultanas, and his favourite colour is green. Green PJs, green lunchbox, green peas even. Green makes Ned happy. Ned goes to little school. His teacher, Miss Haggerty, is very tall with long red hair and a booming voice because kids can sometimes be really noisy. Some days, Ned spends time in a special classroom with another teacher, Mrs. Hogan. She's a bit like Auntie, but doesn't play with her false teeth. Ned gets to practice his alphabet and sounds, jump on the green bean bags and roll green Play-Doh into balls. Ned loves being with Mrs. Hogan. Ned's 10-year-old buddy Jack thinks he's really funny and he tells really bad knock-knock jokes. Jack helps Ned when his classmate Tyrone decides to use his lunchbox as a footy. Not cool. For the most part, Ned is like the other little ones, but his story is a bit different because Ned has ASD. That stands for Autism Spectrum Disorder, a lifelong developmental disorder. Which means Ned's the same but different.
No two kids with ASD are the same, but there are some common behaviours you might pick up on. Sometimes kids with ASD have trouble talking, playing and being with other people. They might show this by not looking at you, avoiding eye contact, not smiling or using other facial expressions, talking over the top of you or being really loud when you need them to be quiet. Kids with ASD sometimes like routine and repeating things. They might like to do something over and over and over again. Copy words and phrases, saying them repeatedly instead of talking. Repeat the same movements like rocking back and forth. Keep asking the same question, lining up objects. Be fussy eaters, only eating certain foods. Get upset if routines change, like driving a different way to school. ASD kids might have more sensitive senses like hearing, taste, touch, such as brushing their teeth, which to them feels weird, or too much noise like in a playground or a big family group. Sometimes they might refuse to eat a food because it smells or they don't like the texture. You might notice these things a little or a lot as early as when they're bubbers.
Grandma was the first one to notice Ned didn't answer to his name when he was a bubba. No matter how hard Grandma tried, Neddy, Neddy Bubba, Ned just looked away. Grandma also cared for Ned's cuz Billy, who was around the same age. After a while, Grandma was sure Ned was the same, but different. Why wasn't Ned playing peekaboo and looking at her when she blew raspberries? He was nearly 2, and Ned didn't goo or gar like the other bubbers, and wouldn't play with Grandma, Billy or anyone.
Bubbers with ASD under the age of 18 months typically don't turn when they hear their name called or a voice they know, make eye contact, smile when smiled at, follow objects with their eyes, reach out to be picked up, cuddle, wave hello or goodbye, look at you when being fed, make noises to get your attention, want to play with others. If you notice any of these things, it's important to see your doctor or health nurse.
Grandma had a niggling feeling that something was up. She felt it in her bones. So she talked to Ned's mum Liz, who cried and cried. Ned's sis Queenie was okay as a bubba, so why was Ned different? Did it mean Ned would never do normal stuff like go to little school? Grandma, Liz and Ned went to visit Dr. Sam all the way in town. Dr. Sam had a big smile, even with a room full of lots of aunties and uncles waiting and snoozing and waiting. Dr. Sam said all bubbers are different and to wait and see, but Grandma and Liz knew something was up. It was hard, but Liz asked Dr. Sam to do some more tests, and after Ned was checked out by another special doctor, he was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. Everyone was real upset, but Dr. Sam said it was going to be okay, and it's good that Ned gets help as a bubba. The earlier, the better.
Getting help early for your bubba and family is really important. It means the earlier your bubba will learn new ways to talk and play and be with people. the better he or she will do at school and later on in life. You and the family will be able to learn new ways to help Bubba at home. And your Bubba can go to early intervention where they'll teach him or her how to play and be with other kids. They'll teach your Bubba ways to get what he or she needs without mucking up.
Life's better for Ned and his family now he's been diagnosed and they're getting some help. His mum and dad, Liz and Joe, understand why Ned does things the way he does now and don't get so frustrated. Instead of Ned screaming when he's thirsty, he's learning to point at the fridge to show that he wants a drink. When Liz sees Ned start to line up his toys or start to rock, she knows something is wrong and can help make things right again. Ned's better at eating his food and using the toilet with a little bit of help. And Grandma and Liz are learning ways to help Ned sleep better at night. Then everyone gets some sleep. Every day things are slowly getting easier and easier.
In each state and territory of Australia, there is help and support out there for kids with autism spectrum disorder and their families. Autism Queensland, Aspect Autism Spectrum Australia, Autism Association of Western Australia, Autism South Australia, Amaze Victoria, Autism Northern Territory, Mary Mead, Autism Tasmania. If you're not sure, talk to your community health nurse or doctor.